So I went back working with John Cipollina, and, as always, having a great time, but not making a lot of money. At one of the Terry and the Pirates rehearsals, Lonnie Turner and I got together. He had some words that he'd written for Dave Mason. I looked at them and I said, this is like reading Dr. Seuss on LSD. I mean, this is really bizarre, Lonnie. And I showed him a lick that I'd been keeping in my back pocket for several years. And we put them together, and that became Jungle Love.
Oh.
And I was sitting at home, I don't know, it must have been like a year later, JD. Steve thought he had wrapped up Book of Dreams, which is his follow-up to Fly Like an Eagle. And then Lonnie, I don't know why he waited so long, but, Steve said, I wish I had a rocker to hit him with on side 2. And Lonnie took out this tape that he'd been keeping with him and said, who's playing guitar? And Lonnie gave him my name and number, and I got a phone call at home. And I said, hello, and I said, who's this? And he says, it's Steve Miller. I said, no, who is this really? And I'd kind of forgotten about the whole. He says, no, this is Steve Miller. He said, I am calling you because I love your guitar part on Jungle Love, but I can't figure it out. Where are you? And I was like 10 minutes away. So I said, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to pack my amp. So went over there. We played the song halfway through, and Lonnie made a clam. He made a mistake, and he stopped. And Steve came out and just screaming, you never ever stop. We can go back and fix it. You guys, that was a perfect take. You guys were floating. And he said, it had that first take energy. So we did it again. And what you hear on the record is the first half of the song, including the first bridge, was the first take.
And you just punched in the rest?
Yeah, we edited the rest.
That song, not only is it a great guitar part, but it's got a great bass groove on it. It's just...
Lonnie's great.
It's the coolest freaking song.
Yeah, Lonnie was...
it's got all those cool bass licks.
Yeah.
It just like throws them in there.
Yeah. And he throws these weird things in
between. Yeah, it's just like stuff you don't hear. And
yeah.
He's like playing stuff that bass parts that would get me kicked out of, certain bands. But
you're welcome to play those anytime, and you do it beautifully. And isn't it great the way he kind of goes into this walking pattern when the chorus kicks in?
Oh, it's very cool. Everything about that song is just
and it just
killer.
Lifts everything up. There's actually a guy who did a tutorial on Jungle Love, and
I've seen a few on YouTube. It's not. I don't think they quite get it.
One guy nailed it. He nailed it, and he actually did some sort of auto tuning on the guitar. I don't know how he did it, but he made it in B flat, like it was on the record.
Oh.
So,
What did they do that by slowing down the tape or something? Or speeding up the tape?
They sped it up, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to learn because you have to retune your instrument. A lot of those tunes from back then are... And then they're all like a little bit different. So every time you learn a new song, you got to retune. I mean, playing in cover bands, we know this, but it's annoying.
Yeah, and there's especially in 1980, 1990, people discovered that tuning down a half step, and that became kind of the thing to do for guitar players and the rest of the band. Made it easier on some singers.
This might be a good segue into our Jungle Love tutorial.
Sure, let's do that.
Before we start the actual tutorial, let's hear about the guitar, because that's the freaking cool-ass guitar.
Yes, well, this is not the guitar that I played with Steve. We had a deal with a then new guitar company called Ibanez. They had a couple of different guitars that they were offering to the band, and I still had to buy this thing, which I found a little odd, but it was a great guitar. We got it at cost. There was one guitar that was a double cutaway, beautiful guitar, but it was a little heavy for me. It just, it was heavier than a Les Paul.
That's heavy. Les Paul's already
Yeah, that's a 10-pound.
Like a brick.
Yeah, it really is like having a brick around your neck. So this, I had one of the original Icemans. It's called an Iceman guitar. Probably made more famous by Kiss.
There's
Stupid band.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. But it had one pickup, but it had a switch where you could choose, like, I think up to 6 different tones. And it was just a neat sounding instrument. The only problem with it was that the lightness translated to a very soft wood being used to build the guitar.
Right.
So I ended up stepping on the cord a number of times, and it just pulled everything out, all the electronics, and I made it through the rest of the show with a piece of gaffer's tape. But they ended up putting a little thing here to keep that from happening. I got a call. I ended up during a particularly unfortunate part of my life, I ended up pawning the guitar and not redeeming it. So I got a call years later from a guy who had bought, he was a collector of this particular model guitar. And he said, I have your guitar. So I said, how do you know it's my guitar? And he sent me a picture. There was my name, on the case.
Wow.
And he said, I want to take it to an auction. So we went to an auction back in Florida. The guy was wonderful. He's since passed on. He paid for my wife and I to fly back to Florida to this place called Mecum Auctions. It is mostly about selling vintage cars.
They sell a lot of cars. They have like a huge show, like a few times a year.
Yeah.
And millions of people show up with millions of dollars for cars.
It was unbelievable. He wanted me to come along and talk about the guitar. And he said, they're going to give you 30 seconds. So I wrote and timed what was a really, really good intro to the guitar. Unfortunately, the time of day that they decided to auction the guitars and also neon beer signs. So
guitars and neon beer signs.
Yeah, I mean, it was, geez, what a perfect match, right?
Man cave stuff.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much. But you know what? People weren't ready to bid high bucks at 8 o'clock in the morning. This guy was, hoping that it would be easily in the 5-figure range, $30,000, $40,000, because it was used by a player at the peak of a major band's career.
Right.
And which is true. It was heard on a bunch of Steve's albums. Millions of people, literally millions of people saw me play it live. There was one concert where I played for 100,000 people. A lot of faces. So after, it went for $7,000, which is still not bad. And he gave me a percentage of that, as he promised. And he also handed me this guitar, which is a dead ringer for my other guitar, except it has 2 humbucker pickups instead of the original other pickup. But it's a wonderful sounding guitar. I picked it up, I took it home, I plugged it in, and it has that, I call it the squonk sound, where you get that kind of...
Squonk?
Yeah, the squonk. It's the mid-range.
KWONG?
Actually, I spell it SQONK.
Okay.
Squonk.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So it's a very compressed mid-rangey sound.
Mm-hmm. So did you play that on this song, or...
No, I played
something else.
I played on the Stake.
The Stake. That's a great song.
Yeah, killer song. Yeah, Steve almost got sued over it by Joe Walsh's manager.
What? Oh, by the way, we have a version of the steak on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's pretty killer. Okay.
Yes, it is good. I've heard it. I mean, it's the original version was nothing like it. So that was the steak. But anyway, Jungle Love. The reason that Steve Miller could not figure out how to do it was because I wrote it in an open tuning.
Oh, okay.
It was written. This is a tuning that was used by a lot of.
So what tuning is it exactly?
Okay, here we go. From low to high, it's open A tuning. So it's the same sort of tuning that Keith Richards uses.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got E on the 6th string, A on the 5th string, E on the 4th string, A on the 3rd string, C sharp on the 2nd string, and E on the 1st string. So it's literally an open A chord.
Basically a power chord.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful tuning for playing slide. Keith takes away the 6th string because he's not known for his accuracy. So
okay, so I just screw it. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. So all you ever look at his guitars on stage, they're all 5-string guitars. The song was written in an open tuning, and Steve and all the guitar players in his band since then have had to learn it. I'm going to go ahead and play it at speed, and then I'm going to break it down for you.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are. Open A tuning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. First of all, I do have some tablature on this that will be available for you. There's a couple of tricky little things in here that people never get right. First of all, you got to use the slide because that gets that first F sharp chord. By the way, this is going to sound like it's in B flat because back in the day we had something called variable speed oscillation, VSO, and if you sped something up, you would go up a half step.
Right, and now you can digitally speed things up and slow things down without.
Yeah, I talked with Gary Malaber, the drummer, who heard the first final mix of Book of Dreams, and he said it sounded like an Alvin and the Chipmunks album. And he went in to Steve and he said, no, we cannot release the album like this. Steve said, look, people want pop music. They want it to sound real peppy. And he said, no, this is ridiculous. This doesn't sound anything like you. You know, Steve listened, and everything on that album, where most songs are sped up a bit. In this case, it really, really helped because it made the guitar sound tighter, the vocals sound better, just, you know, the whole deal. By the way, somebody assumed in one of the guitar magazines that I used a capo on the first fret to do this song. So I falsely made the Capo Hall of Fame. I'm dead serious. I was me and George Harrison were on the same list
of
the Capo Hall of Fame. So
all due to speeding up the tape.
Yeah. So in the interest of full disclosure, I'm a fraud. No,
it just makes it a little complicated learning because I remember when I was learning that song, I was like, this isn't an odd key, but I play 5-string bass, so I can play stuff in pretty much any key, but it's so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, to play it in the original key.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here we go. First of all, you're going to have to use your thumb or a pick or whatever to get slide up to the 9th fret, which is going to be the equivalent of an F sharp minor. It's actually a power chord, but it's an implied minor. You know, with F sharp being the 6th of the key of A. So go. And that gives it that beautiful, powerful sound at the beginning. Now we're going into Keith Richards land, where the main riff of the song, you bar across the 7th fret on the first 5 strings. Now, if I was Keith Richards, I don't know if I mentioned this already, I would take away the 6th string, wouldn't have to worry about it, except I needed to play this song. So we got. So this is an E, and this is an E sus. To a D. Then we're going to go down, 2nd finger on the 5th fret on the 4th string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and we've got these beautiful open notes ringing underneath this riff. That. So the whole thing done slowly is. That's easy. And then you take your slide, go on the 5th and 4th string, and then 4th and 3rd. So it's. So the whole, and following that, there's another fill that goes like this. Again, it's like first finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then move that same shape up 2 frets, and then go, you're going to be playing the 5th fret on the 3rd string and the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and move that up 3 frets, 1 fret at a time. So it goes. That's most of the song right there. So I'm going to play the whole first lick. First lick. So that's the verse, and here comes the chorus, the Jungle Love. This is the part that eludes 90% of the guitar players that try to learn this song. So this chord right here is really important. It's an F sharp minor, played with your 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the 5th string, 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string. Very important, leave the 3rd string open because it gives you, it's a pedal tone. 1st finger plays the minor 3rd on the 8th fret of the 3rd string, 2nd string. So good. Close. Then you go. So what you do is you got this chord, the F sharp minor, and then this is, it's an inversion of an E chord. Sounding chord, so you're just playing. Here you're playing an A chord, 12th fret on the 5th string, 12th fret on the 2nd string. These chords come in real handy in this tuning. You use them all. I use them a lot. So that's the beauty of this tuning. That has nothing to do with the song, but I just thought I'd throw that in. It's addictive. So there we go. I'm going to play the whole chorus now, slowly. There you go. And I just realized I was doing that F sharp minor wrong. When I showed you that, I actually put my 3rd finger at the 9th fret on the 3rd string, so oops. That allows you to move up without doing anything. So, sorry, 73 years old, small brain fart. I've only played this song 2,000 times.
Is that it? Only 2,000?
Yeah, only probably more
I think
than
you played it 2,000 since I've known you.
Yeah, prep. Yeah, you're right. So there we go. then you go back to the verse. Notice on that one I slid down. You can do that, or you can play each one. You can go, or you can go. So up to you. So. Same. Here comes the bridge, and this is just straight Keith Richards. So slowly, that's just on E, and you go to that E sus, down to a D, then up to G. So it's power chord. Back to and up. Now watch your ear harmonic. That has confused cover bands for decades. So the reason they can't do it is because they're not in this tuning. This makes it so easy. When we do it, band, the whole band stops. And I stole that from Steve.
It's a very cool. I think we actually play that song better than the current Steve Miller Band.
He said it, I did it. Just keep sending the checks. So that's, now we're at the end of the last verse. And two choruses. And that's basically it. I mean, it's this tuning is gold. You know, if you're in a Stone cover band, you probably already know this stuff, but
back.
Yeah, same stuff.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and there's just little licks you can throw in there, like. So, it's Jungle Love.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to conclude our sit down with Greg Douglas. Thank you.
JD,
Thank you, Greg.
it's a pleasure. Thank you. It's an honor. It really is. So,
It's,
yeah, man.
It's my
So,
honor.
I'll see you on stage.